All right. Hi, everybody. Stefan Molyneux from Free Domain. So we've got some spice going on. We've got some spice. DoorDash sexual assault allegations. Boy, if there's anything better for a company than having those phrases go together. Nothing to do with DoorDash, but they are the company that hired this woman. So what happened? So on October 12th, 2025, in Oswego, New York, 23-year-old Olivia Rose Henderson was working as a DoorDash delivery driver. The customer had selected contactless delivery, just means leave the order at the door, go up, dump the order, vamoose. Upon arrival, Henderson claimed that she found your door is ajar. No, it's not. It's a door. Claimed that she found the front door wide open. From outside, she saw a man lying on his couch, unconscious, with his pants and underwear down around his ankles, exposing his genitals. It's always odd that that's plural, isn't it? Genital. The weather was around 59 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius, because then he would be melting. Henderson says she did not enter the home, and she did not enter the home, contrary to some early reports or misreports. Police and multiple sources confirmed the video was taken from the exterior of the residence. She placed the food at the door as instructed, recorded a short video of the scene, and left. The video appears to have been taken from the vantage point of the open doorway as opposed to a window. So she goes up. This is her story, as far as I understand it. And it's all fluid. Nobody knows for sure, but it's really, really, I find this stuff gripping and fascinating. So she goes up. And what she says is she goes up, the door's open. Naturally, she looks in the house, and there's this guy naked, passed out, or in his pants and underwear down around his ankles, exposing his genitals. I think that her perception was, oh, this guy saw that it was a female driver who was coming, right? Olivia. It was a female driver, so he exposed himself to me. I think this is her story. And she claims it was a form of sexual assault. That's on the one side. Orders DoorDash, female driver, lies on the couch with his penis out, with the door wide open. I have no choice but to see it. I can't look at something and not see it, except my conscience. And that's her sort of story. So immediately afterwards, Henderson, the woman, posted the video. It was blurred in parts, so TikTok captioning it to imply the customer had intentionally exposed himself because he saw a female driver was coming and was pretending to be asleep. She described the incident as sexual assault or indecent exposure directed at her. The original video and follow-ups went massively viral, tens of millions of views combined, sparking widespread debate online about worker safety, indecent exposure laws, and whether this constituted assault or a pepper. All right. So, what do we got here? Henderson reported the incident to DoorDash and later to Oswego police on October 13th. She claimed DoorDash ignored her safety concerns and deactivated her account shortly afterwards as a punishment for speaking out. So, DoorDash quickly deactivated both the customers and Henderson's accounts in a public statement posted on their TikTok on October 16th, 2025. DoorDash said, and I quote, "No one should ever have to experience sexual assault, harassment, or abuse. However, posting a video of a customer in their home and disclosing their personal details publicly is a clear violation of our policies." I think his name was on the video. And of course, he can be identified by, it just takes someone who's been to his house to identify who he is. The company emphasized the deactivation was due to the privacy violation, filming and sharing inside a private residence without consent, not for reporting a safety issue. So, none of this is legal advice. I don't know my ass from my armpit when it comes to the law, but my amateur understanding is that you can film people outside their homes. You can't film people inside their homes. I get this from the Megyn Kelly autobiography. So, whatever, right? She's a lawyer, but so I guess she knows. Police investigation and findings. Oswego City Police investigated promptly. Boy, that tells you it's a low-crime neighborhood, doesn't it? 1, the male customer fully cooperated. I suppose he'd sobered up at this point. Evidence, including possible doorbell camera footage and additional videos, showed the man was genuinely unconscious / incapacitated due to alcohol consumption. He had passed out on his couch. There was no intent to expose himself. Evidence has not been made publicly available, so it's not yet known whether the door was closed, slightly ajar, or fully open. We'll get to that because there's interesting stuff going on there. The charges applied to Henderson, detailed below, pertain to the video she took of the customer. Police statements thus far do not mention the state of the door. Police determined no sexual assault occurred and no crime was committed by the customer. He was not charged. Some reports mention an officer informally warning him about leaving his door open in the future to avoid similar issues, as it could technically fall under indecent exposure if intentional, but it was not. However, Henderson's act of recording the man in a private setting, which includes from outside, right? Even if you're outside the house and you're, right, taking your footage, right? I mean, the peeping Tom thing, right? You imagine you get a ladder, you climb up and you film some couple having sex in their bedroom. That's illegal because you're filming inside somebody's house. The intentional stuff is important, right? So if you could imagine, well, I mean, I had this story myself many years ago. I was in my 20s and I went to the Dominican Republic, and I was in the hotel room and I came out of the hotel room naked. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Sorry, I came out of the shower naked and there was a maid. I didn't know, I didn't hear, I heard no knock. I apologized, of course, and ran back in. Completely unintentional. You might, and it's funny because men have such a different view of things. As my wife and women, I understand, right? But if you come out of your shower and you think that the blinds are down or the blinds are open, you're not intending to, right? So there's a certain amount of just accidental stuff that happens in life. So the primary source establishing that the front door was closed, or at least not wide open as initially claimed by Olivia Rose Henderson, comes from the Oswego City Police Department's investigation, which relied on doorbell/ring camera footage from the customer's home. Now, key details from official and reported sources. Police determined Henderson opened the closed front door herself without permission to film inside, where the intoxicated customer was unconscious on the couch. This directly contradicted her evolving early TikTok claims that the door was wide open. The investigation found no evidence of intentional exposure or sexual assault. The man was unaware and cooperated fully. The footage formed the basis for her November 10th, 2025 arrest on felony charges, unlawful surveillance in the second degree, and dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image. So, I don't know. Did he pass out from alcohol? I suppose that's the story. I mean, just having a couple of drinks doesn't make you pass out, with the exception being, of course, that if you have a couple of drinks and you're really exhausted, I don't know, maybe the guy just worked a double shift, maybe you're up for 2 nights caring for his sick mother or something like that. Who knows, right? But so he passed out with his pants off. Of course, I imagine he rubbed one out like he was striking an endless match and then passed out. So that's not something that anyone should see. I get that. So the question is, was the door closed? Was the door open? Was the door slightly ajar? I don't know. Anyway, so supporting reports citing police/investigation. The News International, November 17th, 2025, quote, instead of leaving the food at the door, investigators say she opened the closed front door and went inside the house without permission. Now, the video footage appears to be from the front door, so I don't know that she went inside the house. Multiple outlets such as The Tab, Law and Crime, International Business Times UK reference doorbell/doorbell footage showing she entered illegally or pushed or opened the front door, flipping the narrative. I get that there's a gray area here. So let's just say the door was open a little bit. She saw something. Oh, what's that? And then she pushed the door open, saw a pee-pee, saw a wee-wee, saw a peener, saw a penis. Sorry to shock you. Don't faint. Try not to faint. Do your best. And then she got shocked and appalled. And then, what's the civil thing to do if a guy's passed out half naked on his couch and you open the door and see it, is to close the door and go away. I mean, let's have a little grace in our society, right? People make mistakes. No official Oswego PD press release verbatim quotes Ring camera in all coverage, but it's consistently described as the key evidence disproving her version. She initially admitted in a now deleted video that the door was slightly cracked open. I think they crack a cold one, so it's not cracked, but cracked open before changing her story. So if the door was mostly closed and the guy was passed out, then I think that's quite a stretch. It's certainly a big stretch to say sexual assault, and it's quite a stretch even to say that he exposed himself. Here's the thing too. This is part of just sort of having a bit of grace in the world, right? God, who's perfect? We all make mistakes. I might in fact make a mistake one day. One day. We all have a countdown. It's right now at infinity, but imagine theoretically, right? You or I make a mistake. So it could be that this guy thought he'd closed the door, had a couple of drinks, passed out from alcohol or tiredness, and then the door creaked open a little bit. No intent. Have a little grace, people. My gosh. So on November 10th, 2025, Olivia Henderson was arrested and charged with 2 Class E felonies under the New York Penal Law. 1, unlawful surveillance in the second degree. 250.45. Recording someone in a private place where they have a reasonable expectation of privacy without consent. Yes. 2, dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image in the first degree, sharing or distributing such illegal recordings. Each charge carries a potential sentence of up to 4 years in prison, though, of course, first-time offenders often receive lesser penalties. She was processed, released on an appearance ticket, and is scheduled to appear in Oswego County Court on December 4th, 2025. The case remains ongoing in collaboration with the Oswego County District Attorney's Office. Customer has been cleared of wrongdoing, other than passing out half naked, which is more aesthetic than moral. A document posted on Reddit obtained via a FOIA request of the initial police report. Now, I got to tell, FOIA, what has it been, almost a month? Yeah, when did she do her thing? Yeah, October 16th. So, yeah, it's been a little over a month. FOIAs are kind of slow, but again, if it's a low crime area, they can do the FOIA. Oh, look, I'm blocking out some of the text. All right. So this is the one, right? So on the above date, time and location, says the officer, I responded to a public lewdness complaint. Upon arrival, I spoke with Olivia Henderson, who stated that she was door dashing last night at 1:36, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. And when she arrived at the address to deliver a Wendy's pickup, no, really? Madam, this is a Wendy's. Isn't that the meme? The male who ordered had his front door wide open and he was sleeping on the couch with no pants on. Olivia stated that she left the food on the front porch and left. She advised me that she called because she did not want this to happen again to another female delivery driver. I then responded to 136, blah, 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 and spoke with name, who stated that he had gone out last night to the bars. He stated that he woke up and realized that his front door was open and saw the photo. Olivia left of the food being delivered and his door open with him laying inside. Austin stated that he thought he had shorts on in the photo, but did not realize he was actually naked. Austin stated several times that this is not normal for him and he was sorry that it happened. I advised him at this time that there are no charges. However, it is becoming a recurring issue. If it becomes a recurring issue, he could potentially get charged. He stated he understands, not happen again. At this time, there are no applicable charges due to a lack of intent because Austin was within his own home and with no view to the public, aside from Olivia being on his private property to make the delivery. Case closed. All right. Oswego Police Department statement, November 17th, 2025. Dun dun. Isn't that the music? Dun dun. On 10/13/2025, an incident was reported to the Oswego Police Department regarding an event that occurred on 10/12/2025. It was reported that a male DoorDash customer had been nude inside his residence when a DoorDash delivery driver dropped off a food order. An investigation was initiated by the Oswego Police Department, OPD, easy as ABC, during which it was discovered that the delivery driver had taken video of the nude male. The video, along with the subsequent investigation, indicates that the male was incapacitated and unconscious on his couch due to alcohol consumption. The video was taken from the exterior of the male's residence. The DoorDash driver subsequently posted the video to social media where it drew significant attention. It was further discovered that the DoorDash driver had made claims of being sexually assaulted during this incident. Now, again, I'm no lawyer, but I have done a wee bit of research for obvious reasons on the issue of defamation. Now, if you claim that a man sexually assaulted you and he didn't, could you get sued for defamation? That is a very interesting question. As a complete outside amateur, I'd say, yeah, pretty much. Because if it was not sexual assault, and you say in public to millions of people, this guy sexually assaulted you and he didn't, ouchies. Well, I guess she doesn't have many assets, so she wouldn't be working for DoorDash. Ooh, burn. All right. So the investigation by the Oswego Police Department determined that no sexual assault occurred. The male depicted in the video cooperated with the police and provided a statement. The investigation ultimately led to the arrest of the DoorDash driver, Olivia Henderson, 23, of Oswego, for recording and disseminating the videos. So we did this charge, blah, blah, blah. What else have we got here? Sorry, I've got the iPhone here, so I can have a look around it. That's so weird that you can't run a X stream without... All right. The Oswego Police Department continues to investigate the circumstances surrounding the incident and is in communication with the Oswego County District Attorney's Office regarding the prosecution of these charges. Independent video related to the incident has been collected and reviewed by the police department. Anyway, so that is interesting. So current status as of today, November 18th, 2025. Henderson has not posted on TikTok since late October 2025 and has made no public statement about her arrest. I assume at some point she's contacted the lawyer, and the lawyer has told her to do what lawyers always tell everyone to do. Shut up! Just zip it. Lock it up. Throw away the key. Shut up. Stop talking. Just stop. Stop talking. Her original video remains online, continuing to fuel debate. The customer has remained anonymous and has not been publicly identified or charged. No charges for filing a false police report have been mentioned. The felony stemmed purely from the unlawful recording and dissemination. Public opinion remains divided. Some view Henderson as having exploited a vulnerable, unconscious person for clout, while others argue that she genuinely felt traumatized and that the man's negligence created the situation. So when they say public opinion, what do they mean? Well, I think we all know what they mean. What they mean is that women side with her and men side with the guy who was filmed. That's really, really how it goes. And we'll get into sort of why in a sec. So you've always come to me for neighborhood analysis. I do philosophy on the side. My primary goal is to give you the most detailed neighborhood analysis known to man, God, or devil. And we're going to do just that for reasons that are actually very important. So in Oswego, New York, a small city with a mix of historic urban and suburban residential neighborhoods, the likelihood of someone lying nude on their couch being visible from the street is pretty low, estimated around 10 to 20% under typical conditions. This assessment is based on zoning regulations, common home layouts, and practical factors like privacy measures. That's right, we teleported there with calipers. Below, I'll break it down step by step. Local zoning data, neighborhood characteristics. 1, zoning and setbacks reduce visibility, right? Residential zoning districts require a minimum front yard setback of 25 feet from the property line to the building facade. Homes are positioned at least 25 feet back from the street edge, often more, with average lots 50 to 75 feet wide. In denser historic districts like Franklin Square or the well-known East Side, it's on the other side of the West Side, homes may feel closer due to narrow lots and front porches, but the 25-foot rule still applies. Grandfathered older structures may vary slightly. Actually, when I got my last physical, my body was referred to as a grandfathered older structure. So it was a peak moment for me. Suburban areas around the outskirts have larger setbacks up to 40 or more feet in planned developments, further limiting views. From the distance, peering into a home's interior, especially at couch level, typically 1 to 2 feet off the ground, requires a direct, unobstructed line of sight. Passers-by on foot or in vehicles would need to stop and strain to see details, which is uncommon. And if this guy was so drunk that he passed out, right? Not that, oh man, I haven't slept in 2 nights. I had a couple of beers and I'm just really, really tired. If he was so drunk that he passed out, he may not have even remembered doing the DoorDash order. Here's a picture. This is not the man's house. This is a typical home layout and obstruction. Now, this is not, just doing my laser brain, this is not 25 feet, maybe 25 feet, but this is not from the sidewalk, right? So if you look at this sort of typical house, go back a little bit further from the sidewalk, you can't see in. You can't see somebody on a couch. This guy was also on the left-hand side of the door, right up against the wall. You really can't. You'd have to work pretty hard to try and see this guy. All right. Oswego's housing stock is primarily historic, 1825 to 1900 era in districts like Kingsford or Franklin Square, or mid-20th century single-family homes, with living rooms often facing the street, but featuring front porches or stoops. Common in 70 to 80% of the homes, these elevate and partially block ground floor views. Windows and doors. Couches are rarely placed directly in front of a large picture window. More often they're against walls or angled away. Storm doors, screens, and glass panels add layers. So here's the other thing too, is that, if you've got a nice bay window, you don't put the couch right there because you want to be able to sit and look out the bay window and see all the people looking in with their angled LARPing drone cameras. All right. Landscaping and barriers, trees, shrubs, fences, and hedges are prevalent, especially in established neighborhoods. In suburban or rural adjacent areas, e.g. in shout out, Lake Ontario, large yards and foliage further obscure interiors. Density variation, also known as human biodiversity. Downtown adjacent areas near East 1st Street are more walkable and compact, potentially increasing incidental visibility if windows are uncovered. Suburban spots, such as Central Square outskirts, are sparser, making it even less likely. From street views, interiors are seldom visible without intentional effort, as homes prioritize privacy in this cold climate region. Heavy curtains for insulation. So here's more typical stuff from the street. Can you see inside? Not really. Most residents use blinds, curtains, or shades, especially in invisible front rooms, reducing visibility to near zero when drawn, common in evenings or for privacy. Daytime glare or interior shadows make details hard to discern from 25 or more feet. At night, lit rooms could increase risk if uncovered, but people typically close coverings. I don't know if you ever pass by those apartments or houses or whatever, and it's like street level, you can see right in. It was like, that would just be weird to me. I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm disassembling poodles or anything like that, at least not on weekdays, but it just seems like an odd way to live, to have this eyeballs coming in. So Oswego is a dense suburban field population of about 17,000 with safe family-oriented areas. Residents report low crime and community watchfulness, but no widespread issues with peeping or accidental exposures. Local ordinances, such as prohibiting visible outdoor storage of furniture, emphasize maintaining a tidy and private appearance. So if a door or window is left wide open, as in rare cases, there's no coverings, bright interior lighting, and a couch positioned directly in view, visibility rises to perhaps 50% or so on, right? This is more plausible in warmer months, but uncommon due to weather. Average highs 59 degrees Fahrenheit in October. Boy, just reading that makes my nipples hard. But you can't see them yet, so it's okay. All right, so we've got from low, moderate to low to very low, 15 to 25, 5 to 15, less than 10%, and so on. So it's not impossible, especially in denser historic areas without privacy measures. The combination of setbacks, home designs, and resident habits make street visibility of interior nudity unlikely in Oswego. Boy, these are just sentences I never thought I would say in my life. This aligns with the city's focus on vibrant, restored neighborhoods where privacy is a priority. But the neighborhoods are not so vibrant that you get higher crime rates. So details could vary. So I got somewhere here. Yeah, so we've got some pretty good data about all of this. I don't think I need to keep sharing this, and I will tell you or share with you my thoughts. Oh, so elegant, so elegant. All right, so hang on a sec here. Let me close that. So I will tell you, so was the door open or was the door closed? That really matters. I can completely understand from a female's perspective, how handsome I am. Also, I can understand, hang on, I'm just getting lost in my own visage here. Anyway, I can completely understand from a woman's perspective, if a guy orders DoorDash and the door is wide open and he's lying there naked, that would be a little freaky. I can completely understand that. Is it sexual assault? I don't think so. And I did actually ask Grok, I don't know, you can use other AIs, but why? I did ask Grok, is that sexual assault? And it does not seem to be the case. So the question is, was the door open or not? The police said it wasn't sexual assault, so it wasn't sexual assault, even if the door was wide open and she just seeing a pee-pee when the guy's passed out. Oh, I mean, what are we, Victorians here? My heaven's sakes, right? I mean, the entire planet did not faint and die based upon Janet Jackson's infamous Justin Timberlake wardrobe malfunction, where we saw a boob. So the primary source establishing that the front door was closed, or at least not wide open, as initially claimed by Olivia Rose Henderson, although she did also say it was cracked, comes from the Oswego City's Police Department's investigation, which relied on doorbell or ring camera footage from the customer's home. Key details from the official and reported sources. Be skeptical, right? AI can hallucinate, and it's hard to get AI to say these are the facts rather than this is what people are saying. So take this with a grain of salt, but this is what the best we have so far. Police determined Henderson opened the closed front door herself without permission to film inside, where the intoxicated customer was unconscious on the couch. This directly contradicted her evolving, right, that the door was wide open. So if the door was closed, or if the door was mostly closed, I don't see any problem other than, occasionally weird or bad stuff happens in the world. That's just a thing. So if the door was closed and she pushed it open, then she would be guilty, and this would be wrong in every conceivable fashion, right? I mean, the guy said, don't ring the doorbell. He certainly didn't say come in, which they never would, right? But he said, just leave it on the front porch and go away. And even if the door was open a crack and she pushed it open in order to take the video, that's really bad, right? If the door was wide open, the guy's passed out, his pants are off, who knows what people are doing. But if the door was wide open, his pants were off, she goes up there, you can't help but look in, you see that, that's not pleasant. I mean, nobody wants to see that. Maybe his girlfriend, right? So that's not pleasant. It's not sexual assault. Come on. That's not reasonable. So, yeah, even if he did this on purpose as someone, Americans need to chill, whatever, man. From a European perspective, this is also stupid, charging her too. No. If she took the video and she posted the video of somebody in their own private residence, that's wrong. That's wrong. You cannot have that. I mean, I get the Europeans, you all don't have borders. I get all of that. But I don't want a world where people can film you inside of your home and post it to the internet. I do not want that world. That is an absolute invasion of privacy. That is completely wrong. And, your home is your castle, right? Your home is your sanctuary, and you should be able to be yourself. I get that you're not going to be doing nude twerking in the bay windows overlooking the playground. That's wrong too. I get all of that, right? So, I mean, there's some gray areas here, but the central fact is that it was not sexual assault. And I posted on X, and I guess it's got a couple of million views now. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video. This is really interesting. It's a really interesting topic, right? So I posted on X about this. And I said it was a very, very big deal. And it is this is a watershed moment. So this is what I wrote on X yesterday, I think it was. I wrote, imagine if this guy did not have his Ring camera footage proving that this evil woman opened his closed front door, went into his house, filmed him half naked, and uploaded the video to the internet, then claimed that he sexually assaulted her. Now, if the, and when I say opened his closed front door, I mean mostly closed or whatever it is. Then he claimed that he sexually assaulted her. So she made a public claim of a man who could be relatively easily identified that he sexually assaulted her, and he didn't. Being naked, passed out, with your peener in full view is not sexual assault. It's not sexual assault. So by claiming that she sexually assaulted him when he did not, it's a watershed moment. Because, of course, there are tons and tons of men who've gone through the most appalling horrors because they've been falsely accused of sexual assault. I mean, either of adults or of children, right? It's so common in divorces, it's got its own acronym, SAID, sexual abuse in divorce. Right? So the woman will claim that the man sexually abused the children because that's the best way for her to get custody and to scare him into coughing up as much money as possible. Obviously, it's not every divorce, but it's really common relative to the actual prevalence. So when you have on video a woman saying, I was sexually assaulted, and screeching it, and the camera shaking, it's like, oh my God, it makes me anxious just to look at it. I feel like I'm having a stroke. Okay. So that's wild. And so here we have, and it's rare, because normally there's a big gap, right? Normally some woman claims sexual assault, and if it turns out to be false, the man is maybe never exonerated, but if it turns out to be false, it's months or years later. But here we have this. Why is this coming to people's attention? Why is this coming to people at the forefront of people's minds? Because this is a clear instance of a false allegation of sexual assault. That the woman uses the term. Why? Why does she use the term? Because it's so powerful. Because it immediately will get people on her side, because it's a narrative. But to accuse someone falsely of a heinous crime is evil. It's evil. It's evil. And I believe that if you falsely accuse someone of a crime, you should get the punishment they would have gotten. You should get the punishment they would have gotten. In the same way that if a judge releases a criminal and the criminal commits a crime, the judge gets charged with the crime the criminal committed, because he's causal in the crime occurring, or she is, usually she. So here's some comments. I'm happy to take your questions and comments about this as well. Diane writes, he clearly stated on his order to leave it at the door. According to her, his door was cracked, so she opened it. Her audacity is next level. I hope they throw the book at her and he sues her onto another planet. Another woman writes, I'm just flabbergasted that she didn't make sure he was okay and didn't need an ambulance. I once found a naked man passed out on the side of the road before cell phones and took him to the hospital. No, I didn't claim he essayed me. I helped him. Someone writes, whoa here. Is she claiming that merely seeing a guy naked is the equivalent of SA? Assuming everything she says is true, she saw him faking sleep while half naked on a couch in his own house. That's SA in what world? Oh my gosh. It's wild. Somebody wrote, and again, I can't verify this, somebody wrote, it's even worse. Her original video shows her opening the door. She deleted that clip and then uploaded the one edited to make it seem as if the door were open when she got there. Oof. If that's true, then she fabricated this. If she fabricated this, oof, that's horrendous. That is horrendous. Somebody else writes, the opening of the door rumor doesn't have evidence online backing it from what I've seen, but it wouldn't surprise me. We shall see. We shall see. Somebody writes, even if the door were cracked open, there still isn't a case for her to be the victim here. The instructions weren't to peer inside and record him. Right. Somebody writes, reportedly, his Ring camera footage shows her opening the door. Oh, man. I mean, and then the question is, why would she open the door? Leave it on the porch. Why would you open the door? You might ring the doorbell. I don't know. You're not supposed to because you're supposed to leave it on the porch. I assume the leave it on the porch thing is people having robust monkey baby oil sex, and they just want a snack for later. So but don't interrupt the sex swing or the acrobatics or the banana peel stick the landing nonsense that's going on. Just leave the food on the porch. We'll get it after we've hosed off the duck butter. All right. This guy says, someone says, I don't male or female. She deserves prison. If I'm lazy enough to use DoorDash, assume I'm naked and inebriated, not wanting human contact. No, but this is a watershed moment. And I get people are saying, well, it would be a watershed moment in a world that cared about truth. We don't live in that world. Seeing a fabrication of sexual assault in real time, where it's disproved almost as it's come to people's attention. I know it was a month ago and change. As it's come to people's attention, it's being disproved in real time. That's a wild thing. And it's true. The whole leave it on the doorstep thing was a leftover from COVID. I get that for sure. Believe all women and so on. This is a clear example. And you just need one to disprove the believe all women stuff. Oh, yeah, like that woman who claimed to be sexually assaulted because she pushed open a guy's door, allegedly, and saw his penis. Assaulted. And the other thing, of course, is don't run to social media. Don't always run to social media. And James, if you wanted to call in and let me know your other thoughts, because James did a lot of this research. Just don't adjudicate things privately. Go to the company, go to the police, talk about it, but don't go posting stuff. That's the attention stuff. That's the clout stuff. And one day attention in the world might have negative effects for me. So far, God willing, it hasn't happened, but it could conceivably happen that one day attention in the world could have negative impacts, even on somebody as elementally and universally perfect in his assessments as me. I know. Just pick yourself up off the floor. This is even more traumatic than seeing a passed out man's peener. Somebody writes, an Olympic wrestler I know went to prison for 5 years because of this. Somebody says, there's no ring cam footage. We'll see. But of course, you're going to hand the ring cam footage to the police to exonerate yourself. But, the hashtag #MeToo movement, the Believe All Women movement, this really does. And of course, the Duke lacrosse case is a big one here, where the woman falsely accused the black stripper falsely accused the white lacrosse players of raping her. And it's just horrendous. It's just horrendous. All right. So if people have questions or comments, I'm certainly happy to get your thoughts. But this is an important moment, because this other stuff, like the other stuff, all occurred long before this sort of live reformulation of these things. Somebody says, I watched the video. You couldn't even see the peener. He had some piece of clothing on top of him. I think that was blanked out, though. I think that she pixelated some of it out. And why did she do it? Of course, I don't know. I don't know the woman. I'm not sure she'd tell the truth, even if she knew it. But why did she do it? She did it to gain attention and sympathy. That's the most logical explanation, like if I had to guess. She did this to gain attention and sympathy. Oh, look, it's so shocking. Oh, look, how bad. Oh, look, what a victim I am. And the breathless, I don't know. A lot of women love that stuff. Oh, my God, can you believe it? Oh, my God. Right? There's this, not to trivialize it, but there's these memes, endless memes or little shorts of learning how to drive with my dad, learning how to drive with my mom. And the mom screaming the whole time, there's a stop sign 3 miles away, hit the brakes. And also, waking up my dad, fart, waking up my mom, right? Women are kind of jumpy. Somebody says, just take a wild guess at her politics. All right. I thought people wanted to talk to me, but I'm just so fascinating that nobody wants to interrupt the flow. I totally get it. Somebody says, okay, not sure, but from what I've seen, I thought women regularly wear more revealing clothing than the guy lying there. But you still can't show your Peter or your vajayjay. So, all right. Somebody says she also took videos herself showing entering the house and filming him. So she put herself on blast for it too. Well, I don't think she entered the home. Maybe he'll keep his door locked in the future. But that's from a woman, right? So women do not like calling out other women. Now, female in-group preference is a very real thing. Men compete with each other. Female in-group preference is a very real thing. But women do not like calling, and it's not just because women get horrendously attacked for this. All right. We're going with mystery caller, James. James, mystery caller, what is on your mind?
Hey, Mystery James. That's a pretty good name. It's my superhero alter ego. That's really secret. It's top secret and everything. So yeah, I didn't have too much more to add. I mean, everything that you said, particularly like the way that AI will hallucinate, sort of like glom together all of the speculation with the official police reports. That I'd ask Grok really
on
pointedly.
Reddit vies with official police reports. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd ask Grok very pointedly, what did the police actually say? Was the door open? And that's indeterminate. But I mean, if that video, like you said, that she opened it and then deleted it and then added the one with just without her pushing the door open. I mean, or when she admitted, like in a now deleted video that
the door was cracked, right? Like it was just cracked, a little crack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which could be an accident, right? I mean, the intent really matters. Intent really matters. And if you just, sometimes you close the door. I think everyone's had it. You close the door, maybe it's windy or whatever, and it goes in and then it just bounces out a little bit, but you don't notice it, right? So who knows, right?
Yeah, for sure. The other thing I'll just sort of know is as a sort of, I mean, I didn't grow up close to Oswego or anything like that, which is on, Lake, was it Lake? Is that Lake Ontario up there? Or Lake Erie? Lake Ontario, yeah. Up by Rochester, New York. But when you ask me to look for, like, hey, look for the neighborhood and see what it's like, and I'm like, I had like a picture in my head. It was almost exactly because it's like the houses are set back, porches. The first floor is like a good 3 or 4 feet off the ground, and like there's no way. I mean, unless it's like downtown, like you said, the street level apartment thing. There's like no way you could see into those houses.
Yeah. Sorry, somebody just wrote, I work sanitation and go to apartments nightly. You'd be amazed at how often people order DoorDash and forget it. Like it's there the next night. I'm there. Yeah. So people forget about this. Sorry, James, go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine. That's the end of my thought there. The other thing I just thought of when you're like this fainting, this faux fainting at seeing a penis, like in a guy in his own home. You see worse things than that in a pride parade.
That's right. That's right. No, I have to actually, I've got a little cornea implant that pixelates. So whenever I wash myself down there, I just see big Minecraft blocks. It's very, very important. But you're right, of course. So people see a lot worse at the Pride Parade, and they're not even drunk.
Well, yeah, maybe, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't think I have anything much else to add. If I do, I'll just pop in. But
all right, thanks. We've got Carrie. All right. Boy, you're gonna carry that weight. Don't make me do this all day. Please interrupt me before I sing again.
No, keep singing.
No, go. What you got?
Well, I'm a female, and I am not on her side. In 2020, when we had the lockdowns here in my town, I took up delivering for Postmates to get, food to people that couldn't get out, especially elderly people.
Yeah.
And it's very clear when it says just leave it on the door. It's not something new. You just leave it there and then they add their tip and you're on your way. Never do you knock and disturb them or peer in. There was no reason. All she had to do was walk up, drop it, and go. There's no reason that she would have even looked inside.
Well, and I'm wondering if she sees a guy, passed out. Is he naked? And maybe that irresistible curiosity thing or whatever. Or maybe she was concerned that he might be unwell, or I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say because sleeping on a couch is not the least common thing to do on this planet. So, I can understand a sort of sequence of events. Let's say the door's open a crack. He's right there. She might just want to say DoorDash, like it's here, right? And the reason for that is that, like, let's say that he's kind of dozing, and then he doesn't hear her drop off the DoorDash, and then what happens is he calls later and says, "My food is cold," right? So I can understand. Again, I don't do these deliveries and I don't order DoorDash, but I can understand that she might want to see if he's awake, or I'm just guessing, right? So that at least he doesn't say, my food is cold, or forget about it completely. It was never delivered, or whatever it is. And I don't know. I guess it's a good neighborhood, so it's not like the porch pirates are going to steal the DoorDash or something. So I can understand a sequence wherein she peers inside if the door's open a crack or something like that. She just has a quick look inside. If she thinks she sees something, and then she's like, oh my God, he's naked. And to me, again, I'm a male, so whatever. I mean, if I saw a female who was naked, like ever in my life, if I saw a female who was naked, it would just like, well, that's kind of odd. And I just sort of move on. But this, this sudden shock and horror and upload and like, that's something that for men is kind of tough to comprehend, if that makes sense.
Right. But the other thing about that is when you drop off a package, you take a picture. So it shows, it goes into the queue, I delivered it. It shows what sort it was delivered on.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Because I think he got a notification on his phone that she took the picture or something like that. So I guess he wasn't totally out of it. But yeah, I mean, if she did push open the door, take the video, upload it, and accuse him of sexual assault, that's just beyond wretched and corrupt and wrong. To me, that's just straight up evil, because that is such a destructive thing to do to a human being who, his only crime is having no pants on and passing out on the couch. That's just, it's not the classiest thing to do in the world, but we don't criminalize that, at least yet.
Well, I'm 100% with you, though, that if she did make it up, she needs to go to jail.
Yeah, she does. And it's a shame, it's a shame that this sort of clout chasing has these negative effects, but we really, and I'm not even going to make this, because the argument is, well, women who falsely claim sexual assault should be severely punished so that we can believe the women where it really happens. But I'm not even going to make that case, because that's an obvious case. But the case, of course, is that we need to reserve our sort of scarce and precious legal resources and police and court resources for genuine crimes, not maybe I pushed open a door, saw a penis, and then, in my view, in my amateur opinion, committed massive defamation. She needs to go to jail. And it's a shame, because she's a young woman, and I guess she got caught up in the moment, and we can sympathize with all of that. But she needs to go to jail if this is what happened. I doubt she will. I think she'll probably get off with some sort of maybe a community fine, maybe a warning. She's obviously not going to go to jail for 8 years for this, but we all know that young women tend to get the least heavy sentences of all. But yeah, she does need to go to jail, because you simply can't have a society where women can make these kinds of allegations if they're false and not experience severe punishment. Because there's a strong case to be made that being falsely accused of sexual assault is worse than being sexually assaulted. Because at least with the sexually assaulted, your law's on your side, you get sympathy, compassion, and so on. But if you go to jail, everyone hates you, your life is destroyed forever, and you're probably going to get assaulted in jail anyway, right? So arguably, it's worse, and so it's really, really terrible.
Well, I think I think a lot more women should be very concerned about these false allegations, because they have sons. They may have sons. It destroys their life.
Oh gosh, if you've ever talked to or read interviews of the moms and dads of, say, students in universities where these kinds of assault allegations are really wild. I mean, they're just crazy as far as I can see, because you really don't have the right to confront your accuser, and you don't have the right to detail the details about the allegations and defense. Is like it's a real kangaroo court when it comes to a lot of this stuff on campus. And yeah, your life can be completely destroyed. And you've seen, of course, young men, the woman afterwards the next day texts him and says, "Oh, that was great. We should do it again." And it happens, right? It is the weaponization of our legitimate horror at true sexual assault to be used in a sort of retributive fashion. It is really horrible and ridiculously unjust.
Yes.
All right. I appreciate that. Anybody else have anything they wanted to add? We don't have to do a super long show today. I mean, it's always good, but sometimes less is more. I mean, never in my show, but I hear that as a rumor. Sushi, maybe. All right. Well, thanks everyone so much for your questions and comments. Let me just check and make sure I didn't miss anything. But I think we are good. And I thank everyone, freedomain.com/donate. If you donate this week, freedomain.com/donate. If you donate this week, I will give you a link to the private Free Domain Radio or Free Domain merchandise store where you can get some really, really great stuff. And lots of love. My friends, have a great afternoon. I'll talk to you soon.